Hi, in this video I'm going to show you how you can completely take apart your Nintendo Switch Pro controller. It might be useful if you want to clean it if you've spilt fizzy drinks, some soda all over it, and you find that the buttons are sticking and not working properly. So let's get started. First thing we need to do is make sure that you're not plugged in and charging your controller, so it's disconnected at the moment. We need to undo this Phillips screw here and here. Keep all the screws separate so you know where to put them back. This slides out and that slides out. Now you're going to see 4 silver screws. Keep these together. If they stay in here, don't worry about it. It will still come out with the screws in as long as they're fully loose. Then you need to get your nails just under here and just pry out, and also here as well, pry out, and this whole back bit comes out here. Keep the screws with this bit. We can now take out the battery by putting your nail under here and lifting out that way. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 screws to undo, and with these two, this is where you need a slightly longer bit to get these two out. Now we will be able to slide this front bit out. You might find that it catches down the bottom here, so you might need to pull it a bit harder down at the bottom here, and they might stick on the thumbsticks a little bit, so just try to feed them through like that. Now don't yank it out, because you can see we have a ribbon cable here, so be very gentle on this ribbon cable, because if you pull it out you're going to break it or break the connectors. So what we want to do is on the front plate, the front part with the buttons on, you can see there's a little black little lid here. We need to lift that black lid up. Let me zoom in. So you need to be really careful with these ribbon cable connectors here. So I'm going to use the tweezers, or you can just use your nail. You can get your nail just under there and you can just lift it up like so, and that will pop out. I'm just going to pop that back in because that came out a bit quick. Right, you can see we're back in now. So if you just go under here and just gently lift it up, you can see that the lid moves up like that. And now we can just pull the ribbon cable out like so. So we can put this to one side. Obviously, if you've got a problem with your thumbsticks here, then this will give you an opportunity to clean in here. It's very easy to clean the buttons without causing any damage. It's very easy to damage the thumbsticks, but if your thumbsticks has completely gone, then just first of all begin by just putting maybe a little bit of isopropyl alcohol in. You've got to be careful with this stuff because it can actually damage the carbon tracks on the inside, so just use it sparingly and just try to work it around and see if that will fix it. If it's got to the stage where they're broken and you're going to have to replace them anyway, then you could try this little trick now and it may help them out. But at the same time, you may easily break them. But let me show you what you can do if the only option is to resolder a new one in anyway. What you can do is you can actually take off the little green bits, which has the little wiper on the inside for the potentiometer. So if you look here, this is for the left and right, and this one is for up and down. And we can pull them out from here and pull them out from here, and you can see, be gentle because they're still soldered down the bottom here, and then you might get away with just cleaning these bits here. So gently pull that out there and you can see that that's the wiper, so make sure that that's clean. But if you've got stick drift, there's a very good chance that carbon track in there has worn. But what you can do is sparingly, with a little bit of isopropyl alcohol, you can just rub that in there just to try to clean the carbon track. And likewise, on this one here, you can take out this little wiper and you can clean the wiper, as well as, let me just push that out, there, gentle. There we go. Yeah, you can give that a nice good clean here, but be very, very gentle. There's a good chance of causing damage if you do this, and cleaning there as well. But if they're completely broken, then it doesn't really matter. Now, when you're putting them in, make sure that you have that bit up top. Can you see the way the metal kicks out at the top? That's got to be the top. Yeah, you see there's no metal on this side here. The metal's just here. So that's got to be up top. And the metal is going to be facing the carbon. This carbon circles here, the carbon track. So we're going to place it in like that, nice and gently. There. When we close it, it should find its home. It should clip back into place there. And watch this. Can you see now? It's moving again. So only do this as a last resort. Again, place that in there with the metal thing up top and clip it into place. And there we have it. Yeah, so you can do the same with this one if you have a problem with this one. If you don't have a problem, do not touch them. Right, let's move on to the other part, which is a lot easier. So first things first, we're going to undo this little ribbon cable. This is for your shoulder buttons and trigger buttons here. So we're just going to lift up the lid from here, like so. So it's like that. And then we're just going to gently take that out, like so. We now need to undo this screw and this screw. And this whole plastic assembly should come off. Again, these screws are the same size as the screws you've just taken out. So now that lifts completely off. Now, if you have problems with your shoulder buttons, you can unhinge them just from here, and that will pop off there. And you can see now you can clean under here. Yeah, so you can give that a nice clean. And with the triggers here, we can just slide out the little pin that holds them in place. The pin comes out here. It's quite hard to grip hold of. There we go. Slide that out. And now your trigger will come out here. And it will allow you to poke these through. And that will give you an opportunity to gently clean here and also here as well. But you don't want to scrape too hard because you might rub away the carbon tracks. That's how it knows the button's being pressed. Can you see there's two halves of carbon here? And this button is one lump of carbon, and it's simply shorting these two halves together, and that's when it knows it's being pressed. So you can do the same over the other side if needs be. And on this front bit here, we're going to be undoing the two screws here and here. And this will now come out. So this will give us an opportunity to clean here. So if you spilt soda all over it, then you want to clean these bits here. So with a Q-tip, give them a nice good rub, again with some isopropyl alcohol. It's not going to be the best at removing soda, but if you scrub hard enough, it's going to remove it. And then you can make sure that's all nice and clean. Then when it comes to this bit here, this is all safe to wash. So we can take that off, that off, that off, that, and also this little bit here. And we can give them a nice clean again with a little bit of isopropyl alcohol, making sure you don't scrub on the carbon bits too hard. Give them all a clean. And this whole thing here can actually be washed in warm soapy water because it's just plastic. You don't have to worry about where everything goes because it's idiot proof on the way back in. So you can bring this over to the sink. Make sure you don't lose any of these down the plug hole and give it a nice good clean with maybe an old toothbrush and get rid of the soda with some warm soapy water. Then give it a nice good rinse out. Make sure it's fully dry. You can always use a hair dryer to make sure it's dry afterwards. Once it's dry, it's a case of putting it all back together, which is what I'm going to do now. So what I mean by idiot proof is you can't get it wrong. With the D-pad here, you can't put it in wrong. You can see that there's a cutout just here and there's a cutout here, so it can only go in that way. When it comes to these here, even without looking at the front, you know it's only going to go in certain ways. So for example, if I put that in here, it's just not going to fit, but it will fit when I put it here because it's got all little bits. It's like keyed, so it can only go in one way. So there we have it. Once it's all clean, you can put it back together, which is a reversal of what you've just done. I'm going to fast forward through this bit now to quicken up the video. But if you struggle any bit, you can just go to where I was taking it apart, and then you can see how it comes apart, which will show you how to put it back together. I will show you the ribbon cables in real time because they're the only bits that you might struggle with. Hopefully then, by the end of it, your Pro Controller will be working well again. I'm going to show you how to test it at the very end of the video. And we need to put this in. This is going to be a little bit fiddly. It makes it easier if you have some tweezers. Now we need to make sure that the lid is up like that. Yeah. And then we're going to grab this with some tweezers. I'm not going onto the actual pins. I'm just grabbing a little bit higher up. And we need to place it in to there. Just give it a little wiggle in. There we go. Can you see it just dropped in? And just close that down. That's it. That's now in place. And we're going to put our thumbsticks on here. and here. And now we need to put this into here. So if you kind of place it as if you're roughly going to put the back on, but just have it a little bit higher, we want the blue thing to be facing out this way. So it's going to go in this way here. So let me zoom in again, make sure the lid is up, just like the last one. And again, using some tweezers, I'm going to gently grab that and place it in its home. There you go, it's already gone in. So you can see it's gone in there, yeah, just here. And then just close the lid. And that's it, that is now in place. So that's the amount of blue you're going to be seeing. Now you need to get your Nintendo Switch and just double check that the buttons are all working and the analog sticks. So go down to system settings, go all the way down to controllers and sensors, and go to test input devices, test controller buttons, and now you can check, make sure you haven't got any repeat hits, and make sure that every single button is working just fine. There we go, and home. If you want to check your analog sticks, system settings, controllers and sensors, calibrate control sticks, and now you can see that we haven't got stick drift, and we have full motion, and this was the one that we took apart. Yeah, if you want to check the other one, do the same with that one. So there we go, that's how to fully take apart and clean your Nintendo Switch Pro controller. So hopefully it won't be so scary if you've got to do it yourself. Thanks for watching.